Hey everyone, this is PvZ, and once again I'm translating for Whitera, and we're going to take a look at a first-person video against the Zerg player on the map Scrap Station. Of course, this matchup, the PvZ matchup on Scrap Station, is very interesting. The Protoss can go for an aggressive build, or a very passive one, or you can play macro game. Of course, today we're going to take a look at a very special and micro-intensive build. This build is not the safest build, but it can be really effective. It's very good for players that love to play very aggressive, and it's going to be the best thing for you. This tactic is going to be based on a fast one Voidray attack, and then Phoenixes in addition to that unit. Now the goal of this tactic is basically to kill the first queen and try to kill the second queen with the help of your Phoenixes. If you can do that, basically the game is in your hand. You've basically won. The opponent pauses for a little bit. I think he's changing his settings, but we're mannered players. Of course, we're gonna wait for him. And here we go. All right. So at the moment the Voidray comes, he can kill the one queen, and of course the Voidray kills the queen one-on-one quite easily. But the second one, he can't kill. But by the time your Zerg gets the second queen from his base, your Phoenix comes there and he lifts the queen in the air, and the Voidray can kill it. And the third queen, by the time it gets there, you can have a third Phoenix that can lift it in the air, and then you can have the Voidray and the Phoenix to kill it. So it's quite a strong build in that regard, and if you can pull it off, you can really easily put your opponent back. There's a couple of minuses. If a Zerg is going to build non-stop queens off two bases or one base, two bases later on, he can fight it off. Or if he goes, really aggressive, because if your ground troops are very low and the Zerg can attack with basically speedlings and banelings, he can really kill you right there. Roaches aren't that strong because you have a Voidray, as long as you micro wild, but it can be, interesting to hold off at the very least. Now you really want to wall off really well. You want to really, make sure that a Baneling bust can't really kill you. In the spot where there's the first pylon, you might need to reorder second pylon in case it gets killed, or put a building behind it there, because a Zerg can attack that with Banelings. You can also try to kill your Zealot with those Banelings as well. Now watch what I'm doing here. Of course, I'm adding a second gas while scouting with my probe. I'm also making sure his own Overlord isn't anywhere nearby, and then I add my pylon. Now right here, I am actually not going to try to get my warp gate or get a stalker, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stargate on the top of my base, and that's going to save me 100 gas, and I'm going to get my timing a lot quicker. Of course, we're going to add a stalker after that, and we want to save our worker, and he's trying to probably hunt for our pylon. We don't want him to get in our base because we can't really let him know what we're up to. Because if he sees the stargate, we're really far behind. After the stalker, then we get the warp gate research, and then we're going to save our chrono boost at this point at 27 supply to save it for the Voidray. Right after chrono boosting, of course, right here. We've got 25 more energy left, so we'll be able to really get our Voidray really quickly. Right here, of course, we can chrono boost once on our Nexus, or we can save it for the next Phoenix. And of course, if my tactic doesn't work, I do have a number of probes being built still that's gonna make my economy alright against Zerg in the long term. Now here we're adding an extra gateway because we have an income of minerals that we really can't spend, and here we're moving our Whitera. It's really important to control it really well, and of course we're going to chrono boost our Phoenix after that. If you can see an Overlord, it's really good to kill it because you're going to get a lot of charge up on it. But right here we spot a queen, and it starts running from us, and as you see, our Phoenix is coming, and the queen is off the creep, and here, of course, our Voidray charged up, and as you see, the Phoenix lifts the queen and the Voidray gets his full charge on that queen and kills it quite easily right there. And of course you want to wait for your next Phoenix and try to keep your charge on these overlords. Now as soon as your Phoenix comes in, you want to kill the queen that comes out, but right now of course we want to snipe all these overlords. It's very reminiscent of the Corsair opening in the early, or rather first StarCraft. So right here we see another queen, and of course you know, we want to try to do as much damage to his economy as possible. As you see, he has basically no drones at his base, so he's only got things in his natural, and we're going to try to attack his hatchery right there. Right here we know we're far ahead in terms of you know, economy and harassment, so we add a nexus for ourselves. Of course we're not building any more Voidrays because we're going to transition in a, you know, a different based army off that, and you know, the Zerg does scout our hatchery, or rather our nexus, but of course right here, you know, we try to kill the queen. I'm a little bit threatened by his anti-air, but we do kill the queen eventually and then try to snipe as many overlords as we can. Of course the game is very much in our favor, but we don't want to relax at this point, because if we miss micro and he gets his hydras out, he can really spawn like 8 to 10 hydralisks and really do a lot of pressure to us. Of course we did kill his initial hatchery and we're really, you know, far ahead because of that. At this point, you know, we want to just make sure that we're spending our resources on the other things, and we don't want to lose our air army for any reason. Now here we transfer our workers. Now typically you want to leave about 16 probes at your main and spend, or rather send everybody else to the expansion, because that way you'll be able to resupply every base quite quickly. And right here we see a lot of hydralisks, and you know, we've got these Phoenixes and the Voidray. We already sniped most of the buildings that our opponent has in his main, but if you know, the hydralisks do get on top of the Voidray, they'll kill it. Here's a battle, and we're just lifting as many hydralisks as we can. Of course Phoenixes do double damage against hydralisks rather than queens, and we kill them quite quickly. And of course we changed our 2 Phoenixes and Voidray, exchanged them for 4 hydralisks, so it's alright, but because he only has 1 hatchery here, he really can't build that many troops. He has, you know, only 6 lava per cycle, and we're just gonna try to macro up a big army and try to crush him with it, and we're gonna have our expansion off that, so we're quite safe. Of course my Phoenixes still fly around the map, try to see what he's up to, and spot another overlord. It's very good for us. We're basically killed you know, about 10 overlords total this game. This game is very much in our favor, and we scout, you know, for these usual expansions, we scout that gold, and just at this point we want to just take our advantage, and we want to, you know, finish our advantage in a situation where we're going to crush our opponent with the little and big advantages we've gained through this game. Of course, you know, you never want to really stop playing at any point. You never want to say, oh, I've won, I'll just relax here. So you want to be very careful about what you're doing, because, you know, opponents can always come back if you give them the opportunity to. Now I see that he's got a lot of Hydras and nothing else, no roaches, and that's really great for me because I do have this Colossus. He's adding a hatchery in his main base right now, and you know, he did have to heal his overlord, and that means his queen has less energy for the further engagement. But with my Colossi that I'm going to have by the time I get to his base, I'm probably going to have 3 Colossus. I'm going to basically crush his army, and with, of course, my couple Stalkers, Phoenixes, Colossi, and Sentries, I'll be really easily able to crush his army, because he's been focused on rebuilding his economy in this time. So I have a very superior army with probably 100 130 supply, 120 supply, and my opponent probably sitting at like 60 or 70 supply. So just at this point I want to be very careful when engaging, and I just attack him, and you know, even before I can really micro, he sees that I have more troops and he surrenders. Well, I hope that this tactic strategy has been very helpful to you. You can of course use it on this map, but you want to really practice the micro control and the timing of this. But you know, this tactic can also work on other maps with closer air positionings. So thank you very much for watching this game, and good luck to you.